Imagine waking up one day to find that events in a distant land could change your life.
It's one of the most porous and dangerous border areas in the world. The frontier between Afghanistan and Pakistan, often the scene of cross-border attacks. The American and Afghan governments consider the border to be the focal point of the Haqqani network.
Do these events happening miles away matter to you? What if I tell you these events are not far at all, but right on the border?
Its fighters are affiliated to the Taliban. They are accused of orchestrating some of the deadliest attacks against US soldiers over the last 17 years of war in Afghanistan. Facing mounting international pressure and US financial sanctions, the Pakistanis are sealing the border, building a steel fence designed to stop the flow of weapons and fighters.
What if the turmoil in one country could shake your own? Should India care about what happens on Pakistan's border with Afghanistan? Why should a farmer, teacher, or a shopkeeper in India care about the Pashtun lands and the people over there? Let's explore this story and find out. Along the Durand land, a silent tension brews. This border is more than just a line on the map. It separates two countries, Pakistan and Afghanistan. But it also divides the Pashtun people who live on both the sides. Now these people have their own culture, own history and their dreams. But for decades, their lives have been shaped by the forces beyond their control. It all started many years ago. In 1979, two big events shook the world. One was the Iranian Revolution and the other was the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan. These events were far away, yet their impact spread across South Asia, including India. Over time, religious extremism, military, and instability became part of the long story along the Pakistan's western border. But what does that have to do with India? Now, Pakistan's relationship with Pashtun people has always been complicated. The Pashtun people want more freedom, more rights to keep their lands united across the Durand land. This desire for unity is a threat to Pakistan, which fears that these demands could lead to the formation of an independent Pashtunistan, a homeland for the Pashtun people. The Pashtun Tahafuz movement, or the PTM, is a group of Pashtuns fighting for their rights. They want the Pakistan army and the militants to leave their land, and they demand justice for thousands of disappearances that have taken place. They also want the benefits of their natural resources to stay in the Pashtun lands. These are the voices that Pakistan had tried to silence. The Pakistan government banned the PTM recently, hoping to shut down these demands. But the movement continues, and now the Pashtuns are louder than ever. On top of this, Pakistan hopes to control Afghanistan through the Taliban have been shattered, as the Taliban is now asserting its independence and refusing to be a puppet. To make things worse for Pakistan, there is the Tehrik-e-Taliban Pakistan, or TTP. This group of militants wants to create autonomous zones within Pakistan's Pashtun areas free from the government control. Pakistan's own promotion of militancy during the Afghanistan jihad has now come back to haunt it. Pakistan's western borderlands, once a tool for influence in Afghanistan, have now become a battleground for militancy, religious extremism, and separate movements. As these tensions grow, they will spill over to Pakistan in a larger society, affecting its politics and the economy. So why should India even care? What happens on the Pakistan western border may seem far away, but history has shown us that the turmoil has eventually made its way across the line. If Pakistan becomes even more unstable, what will that mean for India? When Pakistan is weak, its internal conflicts can fuel its tensions with India. Militants trained in these unstable border regions have crossed into India before, bringing violence and terror. And let us not forget, both India and Pakistan have nuclear weapons. Even a small spark of conflict could lead to disastrous escalations. Beyond security, there is a question of regional stability. Pakistan's trouble could spill over from India in the form of refugees, economic instability, or even disruptions to trade. As neighbors, India must be prepared for any ripple effects. The unrest in Pakistan's western frontier affects India in more ways. First, it means that India must keep a close eye on border cross terrorisms. With militants growing in strength, India's security forces must remain vigilant. Second, the instability in Pakistan could lead to refugee crisis, especially if violence escalates. India may find its borders tested by people fleeing the conflict. Another major concern is the potential for large conflicts. Pakistan's military may try to divert attention from its internal problems by escalating tensions with India. This is a tactic that we have already seen before. When internal strife rises, external conflicts can often follow. So what can India learn from this? First, India must recognize the deep-rooted problems along Pakistan's western border. Religious extremism and militant groups don't just disappear, they actually evolve. India needs to focus on diplomacy and defense at the same time, ensuring that it remains prepared while seeking peaceful solutions. Second, India must continue to strengthen its own regional relationships. By building ties with Afghanistan and the other neighboring countries, India can position itself as a stabilizing force in South Asia. And lastly, India must keep an eye on economic and trade opportunities. As Pakistan struggles, there must be chances for India to grow its influence in the region. The churn on Pakistan's border with Afghanistan may seem far away, but it is very close than you think. The story unfolding there will have a huge impact on India, whether you like it or not. So the question here is, what should India do next? How can India stay safe, secure, and strong in the face of growing instability next door? What do you think India's next step should be? How can we ensure peace and stability in South Asia? If you like this video, please share, subscribe with your friends, and hit the like button for more insightful updates.